Hello, I am Endlessness and welcome back to Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis, and in this video I'd like to take a closer look at the newest crossover banner with Aerith and Tifa. Aerith has physical defense boost for allies and it increases physical defense by 20% for your whole team, and you can pair this with other guild weapons to further increase it if you want to. And then the bottom arrow ability increases healing potency by 35%, and all allies start the battle with 2 extra AB. And I honestly think this is a very good outfit, because I also think this is the first crossover outfit with an all allies are ability, but Aerith essentially got a healing arcanum, and also your team is starting with more AB, and this can be very helpful on some battles. Yes, it is situational, because only some battles have very close openings, so that can definitely make it easier. And now Aerith's new weapon, and it has high heal stats, 62 heal R ability points and standard 42 buff debuff extension. It also has OQ slot and heal slot for stronger single target heals. And now the command ability applies magic damage bonus that equals 30% of the damage dealt for allies. And when Aerith is above 70% HP, it also increases physical defense with high potency for 25 seconds. But also upon first use, it also increases command gauge by 75%. And at OB6, it already has high potency PDF buff per cast, but it's for 20 seconds, so 5 seconds shorter, and magic damage bonus is 25%, so 5% less. And I honestly think overall it is a very nice weapon. Yes, it will be kind of situational since it only applies magic damage bonus, but that's essentially 30% more damage for all magic teams. For Cloud included, because his fusion sword gives him magic weapon boost, so that's different. And I just wish it was both physical and magic damage bonus, so it would be a little bit more versatile. But with this weapon, Aerith has now high potency physical defense buffs. And honestly, I think OB6 command ability is already enough, and OB10 will only upgrade it a little bit more, but those OB6 benefits are already there. And on the outfit, Tifa has increased physical and magic defense by 20%, and the bottom R ability is essentially Ice Arcanum that gives her 20% higher magic ability damage when in max command stance, as well as 15% HP and 30% ice ability damage. So overall, 50% increased damage with a little bit extra HP and 20% higher defenses. And I think it is a very nice Ice Arcanum outfit. Nothing more to be said. And now Tifa's new weapon, and it has almost 700 magic attack stat, increased 62 magic attack points on standard 42 ice potency, and since it's a DPS weapon, you'll have it in your main weapon slot. And it already maxed out your magic attack, so you have all those other weapon slots for other abilities, so this is very good. And it also has extra boost slot. But since it's a DPS weapon with all that year 3 anniversary power creep, it also deals 1340% magic ice damage to a single enemy, and that is now the standard, at least for now until they power creep it in a few months. But not only that, it also decreases ice resistance with mid potency per cast, but max potency is high, and when Tifa is above 70% HP, it also applies exploit weakness with 30% potency. And I honestly think this is an amazing weapon, because it not only deals insane amount of damage per hit, but it also decreases ice resistance and applies exploit weakness. Yes, it's 30% potency and not 40, but this is all on this weapon. So you can have Tifa's Adventure Learn Glove on that secondary slot, which is also quite OP with the ability to buff everything by all those buffs by 1 extra tier and apply Enfeeble on the boss. And also, ice resistance debuffs, they free up a slot on your supports, so that's also extremely helpful now where the game is pushing extremely hard to compact abilities. It's a very, very good weapon. And lastly, Sid got ultimate weapon for this month, and it has both the buff extension and a new ability, Stream Phase Haste boost, meaning that whenever you enter a sigil phase, the whole team gets haste for 15 seconds. And then the command ability deals 2000% combined damage to a single enemy, but it also applies 30% physical and magic boost for 60 seconds. And it also gives 2 bonus AB whenever you activate it, and you can use it twice per battle. And this is a very, very good ultimate weapon. And also this weapon boost is the same thing that Cloud has on his fusion sword. So it's not damage bonus or different effects, but also aside from Cloud, all the other DPS characters, they will greatly benefit from this. But also haste for every sigil phase is honestly amazing, especially now with those damage sigils, this new mechanic where we have to break so many more sigils, so this will help a lot with AB management during those sigil phases. So yeah, this is a very nice banner overall. It's a very nice support weapon for Aerith, and in a way it kind of feels like reverse camera with physical defense and for magic DPS. And we also got a new Year 3 insanely hard hitting DPS weapon. It's a bit weird to see that it's the 3rd month and we are still on ice content, and they only now switched from physical to magic because, well, we just had Earth Guild Battle, the solo ranking was still ice, so it's 3rd month of ice, and I thought they might switch it to another element by now. But I also think Tifa is very, very good, because it's not just big PP damage, but she also has exploit weakness and lowers ice resistance. 2 very crucial abilities that are compacted on the same weapon, leaving you 2 slots on your team for other abilities. And lately it really feels like majority of those weapons that we got in 2 years have been made obsolete by the anniversary, so without those new weapons it gets harder and harder, or even impossible, to fit all those abilities on the team otherwise. And the last scale battle was the perfect example of that, where you either pulled for Vincent, Angel and Yuffie, or there was no other way to make a team that was anywhere as good, because you were missing at least one of those very important buffs or statuses. And I remember just recently the game felt like we really could use a 3rd weapon slot because there weren't enough for all those abilities, so I guess Year 3 changed that by just power creeping everything that came before by compacting everything on each weapon. However, it is quite weird to have both Aerith and Tifa with the same outfit. Well, they just make the boobs a little bit bigger, but it's still the same thing, and Lightning had many other outfits. And in Final Fantasy XIII there are also many other characters they could have used as well. So, at least to me, seeing 2 same Lightning outfits feels very low effort, because they just took Lightning body model and copy pasted it twice and called it job done. And then, weirdly enough, we will have Cloud and Sephiroth banner next, and it looks like Seph is Lightning from Final Fantasy XIII 2, and Cloud is Lightning from Final Fantasy XIII Lightning Returns. So if it wasn't for Glenn getting that freebie snow outfit, you could just call it Lightning Crossover. That is a little bit confusing. But I'm also curious what you think about this banner and the crossover overall so far. But I already pulled on this banner, and I accidentally made a huge mistake. Initially I meant to pull just for the Aerith outfits on one page because I like Lightning, and I made a mistake and I had to pull another page. Unfortunate, but oh well, it is what it is. But if you're going to pull, best of luck to you. Oh, and also, by the way, they changed the UI of all those draws, banners and tickets, and to be honest, I have to admit I like it. It's neat and clean. Very nice, but yeah, that will be all. So thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you next one.